What's happening, people? What's going down? I hope you're all good this evening. Today I would like to talk about DJ gear, some essential things that you might want to use for your DJing sets or your gigs or whichever. Just a few essential things that I would like to talk about to you today. So let's get into it. Okay, so first up, really, one of the most important things is a pair of headphones. Now, these are the Sennheiser HD25s. These are what I use. Very popular set of headphones amongst most DJs. It comes with a very long cable, and the good thing about these as well is everything on these are replaceable. So the cable you can just take out, plug out. The earbuds you can replace as well. So everything on these are replaceable. These are very good. They sit nicely onto your ears and they offer a very good quality sound. So I do recommend getting these Sennheiser's HD25s. This is what I use. If you can't afford that though, and you want something on a similar type of scale to those, but you can't afford it, you've not got the money, the budget isn't quite there, there's another pair of headphones that I do recommend. So I recommend a pair of these bad boys. These are Sony MDR V150. These are very surprisingly amazing set of headphones. Now, I've taken these out to a few gigs now, and these offer a very good sound quality. They don't cancel out much sound from outside, but these offer very good sound quality. You can mix with these very well. They got a good low end to these, and I highly recommend these as a backup. Even if you do have the Sennheiser HD25s, I recommend getting a pair of these as a backup. No matter what pair of headphones you got, these are a fantastic backup, and I highly recommend getting a pair of these. I'll link all these in the description for you as well, okay? But great pair of headphones. Next up, I've got something that isn't quite essential, but I think it's a great addition to have as a DJ. And it's a pair of these noise cancellation earbuds. Now, these are a fantastic pair of earbuds. Can't remember the name of these. These are called the Etmotic, I believe. I can't really pronounce it, but I'll link these again in the description for you. Now, how these work is quite self-explanatory, really. You stick these in your ears, and you get your headphones, and you stick your headphones over those earbuds. Now, these are so good, I can just about hear my voice. These are amazing. Now, I've not used these at every gig. I've used these at some sort of loud events that I'm playing at, some loud nightclubs, because you don't need these at every gig. You only really need these if the music volume is so loud. At sort of like mobile DJ gigs, you're not really going to be using these unless you actually do crank the volume up really loud, and you suffer with a bit of what's that called? It's tinnitus or tinnitus. I can't quite pronounce the name, but yeah, for those that suffer with that, these are get these, man. Seriously, really get these. And I bet you, if you use these at a gig and you usually suffer with that tinnitus or tinnitus, and you get home and you lay in your bed and your ears are ringing, if you use these for those gigs with your headphones over the top, I bet you when you get into your bed, the ringing has either stopped or it is very mild. So those that suffer with a bit of that, these are actually for drummers. So these are what drummers use, these ones here. But honestly, get these if you can. They don't cost much. I'll link these in the description again. But these I highly recommend. They're not massively essential, as I say, but I do recommend getting some of these. These are fantastic. Another thing to get, which I recommend as well, these are mainly for people that use sort of the CDJs on their own without a laptop or anything like that, is just a load of USB sticks. Now, I usually use 128 gig, but there's a mixture here. I started off using 16 gigs, but then I ended up realizing that I was just using so many of them. Then I stepped it up to 64, and now I use 128 USB sticks. Most of these are all ScanDisks, apart from a few TDK ones there, but the rest of them are usually ScanDisk. I do recommend using ScanDisk as your USB sticks. I've never had any problems with those, so definitely recommend some 128 gigabyte ScanDisk. You can get so many tunes on these USB sticks, and that's only if you're using a set of CDJs and not a laptop. So next up, you want to decide what you're going to be DJing on, whether it be a turntable like the Technics 1210 that I have here, a CDJ like the Pioneer 900 Nexus that I have here, or simply a controller. You can go for the Denon Prime, or you can go for the Pioneer controller as well. Anyone. If you're a beginner DJ, you're probably more inclined to go for the controller. So I do recommend that, going for a controller if you're a beginner DJ. If you're really serious about DJing though, I would suggest trying to get yourself a pair of turntables. Now these are the Technics 1210 Mark IIIs, which are very sought after at the moment. You can't really buy them brand new anymore, so you probably might have to either get these second hand or go for the Pioneer versions. Whichever, it doesn't matter. If you're really serious about DJing and beat matching to be particular, then get yourself a pair of turntables, and that will really separate you from the crowd and make you a better DJ, in my personal opinion. If you can practice on these and you can beat match and you can mix well on a set of turntables, you can literally DJ on anything, I'm telling you. But if you go straight in for a controller, you're bound by that controller. You can get the basics and the gist of DJing, but you can't really DJ on everything. So you end up putting a turntable in front of you, you're going to be shaking in your boots. You're not really going to know what you're going to do. So I do recommend, if you can, grab yourself a turntable. Even if it's just one, you mix one turntable and a controller and you just practice. I do recommend getting yourself a turntable and practice on a turntable. You get yourself good on a turntable, you'll mix on anything. Next up is microphones. What microphone should you get? There's so many different makes out there. Unfortunately, I have broken my Shure SM58 microphone, which is a wired microphone that I highly recommend. If someone said to me, what wired microphone shall I get? Shure SM58 all day long, I would recommend that bad boy. If I was going wireless, again, Shure would be my recommendation. I would always say go for a Shure microphone. But if you want to go for a wireless microphone system, then I highly recommend the Q Audio. Q Audio QWM1950. Now I've used this on loads of gigs at the moment, and it's a lovely microphone. It's really great. So in the box you get yourself two wireless microphones, you get yourself the receiver, and you get yourself the adapter for it to plug it in. Now I've used that wireless microphone on quite a few gigs now, and I think it's a great microphone. It's got some good quality to it, but the only thing is the range isn't that very far. You can't go too far, but it's enough. Now if you want to use a wireless system for speeches at a wedding, you can use that, that's not a problem. But the thing is, the further away you get from the transmitter, if you've got your transmitter set up by your DJ booth and you've got your wireless system quite far away, then you might experience a few dropouts here and there. So just think about microphone placement and the transmitter, and when you're setting that system up. But I do recommend that Q Audio wireless system. Very good system. Also, another thing, what you're going to need is a mixer as well. Now I've got the DJ450 2-channel mixer. I did want the 4-channel mixer. It was a bit more expensive, but then I thought to myself, well, what am I really going to have plugged in? I'm only going to have my CDJ 900 Nexuses plugged into that, so I only need 2 channels, really and truly. I will upgrade this at some point, but for now, this is what I'm using, and this is fantastic. So if you're going to be using a set of CDJs or a set of turntables, you're going to need to get yourself a mixer. Pioneer, I will always recommend Pioneer equipment to you, but there are other makes out there. You can get yourself, when I first started, I used a Behringer mixer, and it was an imitation of the Pioneer, I think Pioneer 600 mixer. That was a great mixer, but they don't last very long. But really what it boils down to is the more you pay for something, the longer it's going to last. The cheaper you pay for something, you're more than likely going to buy it again, and again. And by the time you've bought it about 5 or 6 times, you could have bought yourself the more expensive version. So try and sort of dig in your pockets a little bit and try and see if you can get yourself the better quality mixer, the better quality CDJ, turntable, or the better controller as well. So that's a little basic of what I use. I'm always going to really recommend you get Pioneer, because I love Pioneer. If you're going for a turntable, I'd always say go and get yourself a pair of Technics turntables instead of going for the new Pioneer turntables. I would say I would rather go and get a pair of second-hand Technics 1210s, just because I know these are tried, these are tested, these stand the test of time, these are durable, these are amazing. And do you know what? In one sense I wished it went back to these, but in another sense I don't, because I don't want to be carrying around vinyl. But if you're a beginner, I don't really recommend you going to splash all your cash on a pair of Pioneer CDJs or a Technics 1210. Get yourself a Pioneer controller or a Denon mixer, get yourself started on that. So that's it, people, just a short little brief rundown of what I use, a few recommendations and a few essentials to hopefully help you on your way to being a DJ or a better DJ. But thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again on the next video. Peace.